Hi and welcome to your practice. Today's class has a grounding quality to it where we will be focusing on the area of our hips and our pelvis. Particularly good if you feel congested in the area, maybe tight in the hips. Perhaps you've been sitting for long periods. So this one will bring that circulation required to feel more fluid and bring ease to that space. Now, for the class, you may need a couple of blocks and a large bath towel or a blanket, but it's not completely necessary, but will be useful. So let's go ahead and begin in a tabletop. In your tabletop, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And let's just start, like always, some small circles around the wrists. Beginning to prepare the space for any load that we may put on our hands. In downward facing dog, for example. And then change direction. Just very gentle circles. Nothing too strenuous here. Okay, and then turn the palms, the fingertips pointing towards the knees. And some leaning back, stretching through the forearms here. Gentle pulses, and your toes tucked. And begin to check in with the breath. Okay, then change the orientation of your hands. Fingers again pointing forward. And now some cat-cows. So inhale, lift the chest, press through the upper arms, and lift the tailbone and pelvis up. Tuck the tailbone, rounding through the spine. Gaze between the thighs. Breathing in. Opening the chest, following the breath through the movement. Taking the opportunity here to sync the breath with the movement. The inhale lifts the gaze, and the exhale, tucking the tailbone. Gaze between the thighs. 2 more, just like that. Last round. Maybe close your eyes and bring your awareness to the area of the pelvis and the hips. Neutral spine. Sit back towards the heels and sit off to your right or left to bring your legs out in front. Okay, and we'll cross our legs here. Right leg, right shin in front of the left. And your hands on your knees. So before we begin here, we'll do some more cat-cows through the spine, but I want you to feel that your pelvis is landing into the floor, both sides of the pelvis, grounding down into the earth, and then pull onto the knees or the shins and open the chest. Breathing in. And exhale, tucking the tailbone, tilting the pelvis back. Inhale, the pelvis tips forward. Lifts the chest. And then breathe out. So while we're moving back and forward here, again, a full awareness into your pelvis. Yes, there's going to be some movement through the upper back and chest and the full spine, but I want you to think about mainly the movement in the pelvis. And with every exhale and inhale, and tilting forward and back, we encourage a little more circulation and fluidity into that space. Nice. And rise up. Left fingertips out to the left. Right arm up and over, side stretch. Breathing into the right rib cage. Feeling that stretch, that pull along the right side of your body. And continue to press that right side of the pelvis down into the floor. Encouraging the right knee to press also towards the floor. And just like our other classes, if you notice that your mind feels quite busy during these moments of stillness, count the breath. So breathing in for 4 counts and breathing out for 4. See how that feels. Breathing into the full capacity of the right lung here. Expanding into the ribs. Stretching the fingers over your ears. Inhale, rise. And we'll shift the position. Left shin in front of the right. Hold onto the knees. Breathe in. Tilting the pelvis forward. And breathe out. The pelvis moves back. Again, moving with your breath. I find this practice in particular was really beneficial to recover from illness. Those periods where you feel quite fatigued. Or when those days, they create that sense of overwhelming quality. And these grounding practices just bring you back into your body. And calm your mind. Good. And back up. Right fingertips out to the right. Left hand up and over your ear. Big side stretch. And can you direct your breath into the left lung? Maybe close down the eyes and count the breath. Let's rise out. Okay, now walk your fingertips forward. A gentle forward fold here. Maybe your forearms reach the floor. Either way, try to settle the mind and settle the breath. Good. Now pull your fingertips back behind your body. Let's lift the chest. A gentle back bend. Again, Keep landing down the pelvis, the hips into the floor, and lift the chest, the spine out of the pelvis. So we feel this pull on both sides. That grounding quality in the lower body and that lift in the upper body. Broad collarbones, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pull the navel up and in towards the ribs. And release. Hands out in front of you, tabletop. Okay, gentle cat-cows again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Push the floor away. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Come back to neutral and bring the knees close together. Perhaps they're touching. Your back toes are tucked. And then stretch your right leg out behind you. Okay? See if you can tuck the tailbone slightly here. And hold this position for 5 breaths. Building warmth into the area of the hips, the back of the legs, a gentle strength around the core, nothing too much. Two more breaths. Don't worry so much about lifting the heel high here, but think about pressing the heel back and the crown of the head forward. Last breath. Okay, now bend that right knee and step the foot to the outside of the right hand. Okay, good. And then hinge up, hands up to the sky in our kneeling lunge, our Anjaneyasana. And as you exhale, we plant the hands, our fingertips to the floor, and we step that right foot back again into that bird dog position with the right foot. Okay, and then we go again. Step the right foot forward, movement with breath now. We'll go through this repetitive cycle. Inhale and exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, right foot lengthens out behind you. And then bring it forward, exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, lift. Let's bring the count to the breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, extend. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, step forward. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, down. 3, 2, 1. By yourself. Tabletop. So when you're at the end of that, just a few cat-cows here as we arrive. Continuing to follow your breath. And then we'll take it over to the other side. Neutral spine to begin, knees together. And then left leg out long, extended back behind you. Check that your toes are turning down towards the mat here. And at any time, if you feel that some blocks under the hands will be useful, please go ahead and use those. They're always there for you. This class is somewhat restorative in nature, so we don't want to make it too strenuous. So where we can find ease, please choose ease. There are so many times in our day where we have to strive for better or harder or stronger. Use this time on your mat to find your center, to find that space between the effort and the ease. That point where it's just enough. Okay, now step that left foot forward. And hinging from the hips here, hands to the sky. And straight away we can begin our counting. Exhale, hands to the floor. 3, 2, 1. Left foot back. 3, 2, 1. And by yourself. You know what to do. Your whole mind and body and your breath and your movement. Feel that warmth building in the area of the pelvis. And you'll also notice here the transition of this foot back and forward. Also engages the core, creating stimulation in the abdomen, circulation in the hips. Next time, when your left leg is beside your left hand, rise up. And then fingertips to the floor. We'll step that right foot forward, outside the right hand, and find a Malasana squat here. Now, finding your Malasana squat can take any shape. So, first of all, what I'd like you to think about is the hanging, hammocking nature of your pelvis. But sometimes it can feel quite nice to take a block or two and land the hips. So we're encouraging that downward flow of energy. So firm into the feet. Maybe you're up on your, like your heels are lifted, you're up on your toes. Also fine, and in that case, finding a height of the blocks and your hips to create that sense of groundedness here. And we'll do a little breath practice, more of a gentle Kapalabhati. So it won't be as intense as you may be used to, like that contraction, that snapping back into the abdomen. Instead, I want it to feel more like an abdominal massage. So, first of all, bring your hands in front of your chest and pressing your elbows into your knees to kind of clamp yourself into space, into position, and then begin the Kapalabhati. So, automatic inhale and a more dynamic exhale, okay, but slowly. So continuing with that, and what we're kind of looking for is like a rippling with the abdomen as it moves back towards the spine. Again, what we're doing here is encouraging that flow of energy down and towards the pelvis. Keep your chest lifted, collarbones broad. Maybe close your eyes. Okay, just a few more there. And release, inhale, hold for a few seconds, and exhale through the mouth. Fingertips to the floor, a semi-forward fold or a half lift, hands can be on the shins here. And then stretch the arms up to the sky, open the chest, gentle back bend, tuck the pelvis. And then hands come all the way back down. Now here, let's take hold of these blocks, one under each hand. Right foot stays forward, left foot steps back. Okay, so a lizard lunge. Knee lands on the floor, the back knee lands on the floor. And just again, that hammocking sensation of the pelvis down to the floor. And rather than feeling all of this engagement in the center of the abdomen, can you allow the abdomen just to spill out and be relaxed? And breathe into the abdomen here. So it's quite a passive variation of our lizard lunge. However, if you feel the sensation in the stretch in the left hip flexor is a bit too much, just lift yourself up a little. But I always like to offer that option of choosing your own adventure and do what feels good for your body today rather than striving for some particular shape. And in this case, it's all about that feeling. Okay, now in this position, let's do some humming bee breath. So we'll inhale and then hum on the exhalation, okay? So to begin, inhale, and then humming through the nose. And inhale, and exhale and hum. Maybe close your eyes. And the humming just helps to lengthen that exhale and bring more relaxation to the nervous system. Going at your own pace. lifting up through the chest. And release. Sit the hips back, lengthening out the right leg. A soft variation of our Ardha Hanuman, our half split, and some small pulses. And we'll step forward back into our Malasana squat. And again, choose the blocks or no blocks. And we'll go again with that Kapalabhati breathing. And feel free, if you do want to go a little more at pace, a little faster, be my guest. But if you can, experiment with how slow you can go. Close the eyes and just visualize the downward flow of energy through the pelvis into the earth. Last 10. Inhale and hold. Release and fold. Right foot steps back. Lizard lunge, second side. Land the back knee. Blocks under each hand. And hammock the pelvis. And relax the abdomen. Humming bee breath. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale. Last one. And release. Step the right foot back. And close the knees, the hips towards your heels. And just pause here for a moment. Just observing the effects of the breath and the systems. Noticing now the quality of your mind and body. And draw again your full awareness in the area of the hips, the pelvis. Noticing that comfort and warmth. Okay, another little massage, an abdominal massage. I want you to create 2 fists and place those fists just above the pelvis. Now, if you know you have any abdominal issues or if you are carrying a baby, please don't do that. Instead, just come straight into child's pose, okay? And you'll have a block in front of you, and if you don't have a block, just the floor is fine. So if you're following me, creating these fists on either side of the pelvis, as low down as you can go, not so much up into the rib cage, and then fold over. And if you do have that block, just positioning it so the head can rest on the block. And let the elbows hang heavy here. And I like this block underneath the forehead, pressing into that space between the eyebrows. There's quite a potent acupressure point in that area, which helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's your rest and restore. Ultimately, that's what we're looking to do today. And while we're here, you can make some small circles with the hands into the abdomen, encouraging again that downward flow. If you have some digestive sluggishness, this is particularly good to encourage that to wake up a bit and to flow a little bit more easily. Lengthening your breath. And see if you can breathe again into the area where your hands are. And you can just rest in stillness or continue with the massage. And release, rising up. Okay. Now let's go into our second to last posture, and it will be pigeon pose. So what I'd like you to get right now is your blanket or your rolled up towel and place it to the top of your mat, and then come into a downward facing dog just for a moment, just to set up for our pigeon pose. So right knee to right wrist, and we don't want the right ankle so far forward with this one. I'd like you to keep it back as close to your pelvis as you can. And then take that rolled up towel. I don't have one. What I'm using instead is my meditation cushion. So I don't want to roll it up too much so it's huge. Okay, now what we're going to do is first bring the left knee in close to the right foot. This will just make this maneuver a little bit more manageable. So you want to roll this roll up and find that space just at the crease of your pelvis. And we're creating a compression in that area, and we'll fold forward. Again, I like to take the block because we're so bunched up here. My head doesn't quite reach the floor. And again, just that pressure point between the eyebrows, and arms rest somewhere on the floor. And find your position. And then when you have that space, you can lengthen out that left leg again, out behind you. And breathe into the right side. Already I can hear my abdomen speak to me. So creating this compression, some constriction in the blood flow, that when we release the rolled up towel or cushion, we get this flooding of new circulation, of new blood, new cells into the area of the hips and pelvis. Like a clean wash. Removing away some stagnation. And you can soften your breath here, encouraging it to slow down, seeing if you can lengthen your exhale. And if you do like to count the breath, if that helps you to calm your mind, have a count on the exhale of 5 or more. But keep it easeful and comfortable. One more breath here. And begin to press your way up. And move your roll or your towel, if you have one, off to the side. And briefly come into downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, left knee, left wrist. And straight away, right knee comes in and set up your roll into your left hip. Okay, and find your position and lengthen out your leg. And straight away move into stillness. What can you let go of? Allow your hips to be heavy. Your head to be heavy. Your face to be soft. And the longer that we stay in these postures, you may notice that your body wants to maneuver a little bit to ease you deeper into the space. And can you continue to breathe into the abdomen? Feeling the internal massage from the diaphragm. And one more breath here. And slowly begin to rise out. Place your blocks neatly to the side. And set yourself up. Swing your feet forward. And if you have a bolster or some cushions and things, keep them at the top of your mat, ready for your Shavasana. We'll put those under your knees. We can also utilize our blocks if you have them. Again, it's all optional. And roll your way down onto your back. Okay, gentle twist. Take your arms out to the sides. And drop your knees over to the left side to begin. And you can just stay here. Your head resting on the floor in no particular direction. Close the eyes or gaze to the sky. Maybe take that left ankle, left foot, place on top of the right knee to give some weight to the right leg. A little extra stretch. So this is less of a twist and just more of an outer hip stretch. You may feel the stretch in a different space. Depends where you're feeling most tension today. For me, I can feel it at the front of my hip. But that changes. And slightly in my low back. And just take note of where you feel it. No judgment. Okay, and then over to the other side. So feet as wide as the mat, and then knees over to the right. Oh, and then maybe right foot over the left knee. Big belly breaths. And it's amazing how both sides can feel so different. And I thought my right side was the tightest, but clearly not today. Just allowing whatever it is to show up for you. Where can you let go? Okay, let's release. And setting up for your Shavasana shape. And it can be straight, legs straight out in front of you, or if you want to make the effort and find some kind of setup. And what that might look for me today is a little fork, 2 blocks under my kind of bolster thing, and then knees over the blocks. And that should hold me quite well. And then slowly roll down onto your back. Now you can grab cushions, whatever you have available, just something to place underneath your knees to give that little lift. And let your whole body melt into the floor. Feel yourself completely held by the earth. Feeling a part of the earth. And let the shoulders relax. The hips to ground down. And the low back to release. And I'm going to leave you here in your Shavasana because I want to encourage you to stay for as long as you can. A lot of the benefits of movement practices come from the periods of rest. So you can say that the Shavasana is the most important pose. And for many of us, the most difficult. So if you like to do hard things, stay for longer. And I want to thank you for practicing with me today. It's always an honor. And I'd love to hear how this practice worked for you in your body and your mind. So please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your day.